Okay, so like, are we all feeling that like little bit of panic when we see our student loan statements? I know I do.
It's a lot for anyone.
Yeah.
Especially like, for us Gen Zers starting out.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're already starting in the hole, basically.
Exactly. And it's not even just about like the money anymore. Like it's a full-on mental health thing.
It is. It really is. It's like it's this weight,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're constantly told to be responsible and stuff.
Mhm.
But then we're graduating with like literally tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
Right. And there's research showing that it's like actually connected to things like stress and anxiety and even depression.
Oh, wow.
There have even been studies about like student loan debt and suicidal thoughts.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's not just like in your head,
Okay, well, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But also, like, good to know that it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And not just me being dramatic.
Right.
It's like actually like a thing.
Yeah, it's like a real physiological and psychological response.
Okay.
Your body's like reacting to it.
Makes you think about like all the other stuff in your life that it's probably affecting too.
Right.
Like your sleep or even like your relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know so many people who like they budget and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but they feel guilty about literally like buying a coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That guilt is super common.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that your self-worth is not your net worth.
Oh, I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
Owing money doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Right.
It just means college is expensive.
It's insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. And it's interesting because like
Yeah.
thinking about, like our parents' generation,
Mm-hmm.
like we have such a different view of debt.
Right.
Because like we saw 2008.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You guys saw the fallout from that.
Yeah. And then a pandemic.
Exactly.
Right when we were trying to start college.
Oh, right, when you're supposed to be figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
we're way more like cautious, I feel like.
Right, you're more risk averse.
Yeah, definitely. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're graduating with more debt than any generation before.
It's kind of ironic, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a total plot twist. Like the average is over $36,000.
Yeah, it's like rising college costs and then wages just not keeping up.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like the number,
Mhm.
like we can't buy houses, we're delaying marriage, kids.
Yeah, it's like life's just on hold.
Which is super stressful, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about like all of the feels,
Yeah,
and like how our generation views debt.
right.
So let's get into some like practical stuff.
Yeah,
Like what are some strategies
yeah,
so that we don't feel so helpless,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's like super important to know all the different repayment options you have.
Okay, yeah,
Because a lot of people think they're stuck with that standard 10-year plan.
right.
Which, if you can afford it, that's great. But
Most people I know can't.
right, and that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from.
Right.
But actually, federal loans have a bunch of different plans, like income-driven repayment,
Oh, okay.
which means your monthly payments
Yeah.
are based on how much you make and your family size.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if you're not earning a ton,
Yeah,
then your payments would be lower.
exactly. And there's actually this great plan called the SAVE plan.
I've heard of that.
Have you?
Yeah, but I'm not really sure how it works.
Okay, well, SAVE stands for like saving on a valuable education.
Oh,
And it's specifically for people who don't earn a lot.
okay.
And it could even mean your payments are $0.
Wait, $0?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's true.
That's insane.
And even better, if you're on the SAVE plan, any unpaid interest doesn't get added to your principal.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're actually like making progress,
Exactly.
even though you're not paying anything?
It's not just like treading water,
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's important to like really explore all of your options.
Yeah, I feel like we don't even know
Right.
what we don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And then we end up making these mistakes that make it even worse.
Okay, so like what are some of those mistakes?
Well, a really common one is just ignoring the problem.
Oh, yeah.
I know, it's tempting to just like shove the bills in a drawer.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
But like,
Unfortunately, debt doesn't work like that.
yeah, it just gets bigger, right?
Exactly. The interest keeps building.
It's like ignoring a cavity,
It is.
Exactly. It's just going to keep getting worse.
Exactly.
Okay, so not ignoring it.
Don't ignore it.
What else?
Another one is not actually like looking at the different repayment options. A
Right.
lot of people just assume they have to do the plan they were initially given.
Yeah.
But you really need to take the time to look at all the options.
It's like trying to navigate a new city without a map.
You're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, but
It's going to be rough.
yeah, much harder.
Okay. Anything else we should avoid?
Another tricky one is consolidating or refinancing without a real plan.
Okay. So consolidating can be good.
Yeah, like if you're trying to simplify your payments,
Yeah.
you have to be careful because if you consolidate your federal loans into a private loan,
Oh,
you lose access to those federal benefits,
Okay.
like the income-driven repayment and any forgiveness programs.
So, like, maybe refinancing is good if you're making good money.
Yeah, if you're like financially stable
Right.
and you just want a better interest rate,
Okay.
but it can be risky.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Missing payments.
Yeah.
Like, just one late payment can, like, mess up your credit score,
Seriously.
which can then affect getting a car loan or a mortgage
Wow.
or even renting an apartment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And if you miss enough,
Yeah.
your loans can go into default,
Oh no.
and then collection agencies get involved.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
And if you are having trouble making payments,
Yeah.
talk to your lender.
Really?
Yeah, like they actually have options to help you out.
Oh, wow.
But they can't help you
Right.
if they don't know your struggle.
So don't suffer in silence.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so that's a few of the like big pitfalls to avoid.
Okay, those are helpful.
Yeah.
So now that we know what not to do,
Yeah.
what are some things we could do?
Okay, well, here's a step-by-step action plan.
Oh, I love a good plan.
Okay, well, first you have to like take stock of your loans.
Okay.
So like really figure out what you owe.
Mm-hmm.
Make a list of every loan, like the balance, the interest rate, the lender, and what kind of loan it is.
Okay, so step one, get organized.
Exactly.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, so next you have to figure out your why. Like, why do you actually want to be debt-free?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so you have to like identify those big goals.
Yeah.
Is it buying a house
Mm-hmm.
or starting a business or traveling or just like honestly having peace of mind?
Right. Yeah.
Because if you have a strong why,
Yeah.
it'll be easier to stay motivated.
Love that.
Yeah.
So step one, know your loans. Step two, know your why.
Exactly.
What's step three?
Okay, so step 3 is about figuring out like the right strategy to pay them off.
Okay.
So like if you're not making a lot of money right now and you have federal loans,
Mm-hmm.
you should definitely look into that SAVE plan.
Right, the $0 a month one?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then if you have like a bunch of different loans, you have
Yes.
to try like the snowball method or the avalanche method.
Ooh, okay, I've heard about those.
Yeah, so the snowball method is like paying off the smallest ones first.
Oh,
So you
okay.
get those quick wins.
I like that.
Yeah, and then avalanche is paying off the ones with the highest interest first
Oh,
to
no.
save money in the long run.
So it's like, what motivates you more? Quick wins or like long-term savings?
Exactly.
Okay, so step 4.
Okay, step 4 is about budgeting, but not in like the restrictive way that people think about it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's more about being in control.
Okay.
So like when you make a budget,
Yeah.
you're not limiting yourself.
Right.
You're choosing where your money goes.
Okay.
And my best tip for this is to treat your loan payments like a fixed expense.
Okay.
Just like your rent or your phone bill.
Yeah,
That way you know exactly how much money you have left to
Right.
spend on other things.
I like that. That
Yeah.
makes you feel like you can actually spend guilt-free.
Exactly.
Okay, what's step 5?
Step 5 is to think about boosting your income.
Oh, the side hustle.
Yeah.
The Gen Z specialty.
Exactly. Yeah. So like
Freelancing or tutoring,
mhm.
driving, whatever works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, step 6.
Okay, step 6 is to look at any loan forgiveness or assistance programs that you might qualify for.
Okay. Yeah.
We talked about public service loan forgiveness earlier,
Mhm.
but there are others out there too.
Right.
So don't leave any free money on the table.
Right, yeah.
You know?
It's like finding a $20 bill on the ground.
Exactly. You wouldn't just walk past it.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next
there
is
is.
about avoiding any more debt
Ooh, okay.
and building an emergency fund.
Right, because it's hard to get out of debt. if
Yeah.
You keep adding to it.
Exactly. So try not to use credit cards to make ends meet.
Okay.
And then try to build like even a small emergency fund, like
Mhm.
even just $500, just so
Okay.
you have that cushion.
Right, that safety net.
Exactly, because then those unexpected expenses won't derail you.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what's our last step?
Okay, so last but not least,
Yeah.
celebrate your wins.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and just be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right, it's going to take a while.
Exactly. So even small wins,
Mm.
like paying off one loan or even just a chunk of a loan.
Yeah.
Like treat yourself,
Yeah.
Get yourself a coffee or go
Yeah.
out with friends or something just to acknowledge your progress.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just focus on what's left, you know?
Exactly. And just remember that like your self-worth is not connected to your debt.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our plan.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Student loans aren't just about like
Yeah.
spreadsheets and numbers.
Right.
They affect your mental health.
Absolutely.
So how do we cope with all that stress and try to stay positive?
That's where we'll get into the mental wellness strategies.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear about those.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back to talk about all that after a quick break.
And don't forget, you can check out genzwealthandwellness.com
Yes.
for more info and support.
Awesome. See you in a bit. So we were talking about all the stress that comes with student loan debt.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but the good news is there are things you can do
Oh, okay,
to
good.
manage it.
Give me all the tips.
Yeah.
Need them.
Okay, well, one of the most helpful things is mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Isn't
Yeah.
that like for like meditation people?
It can be, but like it doesn't have to be like, you know,
Yeah.
super intense. Even just a few minutes of like deep breathing
Okay.
can make a huge difference.
Really?
Yeah, it can like calm your whole nervous system.
Huh.
You
Interesting.
know, when you feel that loan stress, like spiraling out of control,
Yeah.
that's when you can use mindfulness
Okay.
to bring yourself back to the present moment.
Okay, so like how do I do that?
Well, there are a lot of like apps and resources out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and a lot of them are free. So you
Awesome.
can try like guided meditations.
Okay.
Or even just listening to calming music.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be like super.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Go ahead.
complicated.
Yeah.
You can even just take like a few deep breaths
Oh, yeah.
before you open that loan statement.
Yeah.
Or like during your commute.
That's a good idea.
Just like little things throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. When
Yeah.
I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just like stop and take 5 deep breaths.
That's great.
It's like a reset, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have mindfulness. What else can we do?
Another great one is journaling.
Journaling.
Yeah.
I haven't done that since I was like 12.
It can be really helpful though.
Really?
Yeah, because you can just like write down all your feelings about money,
Okay.
especially those like fears and anxieties.
Right.
It gives you a place to like process them without judgment,
Yeah.
and it can help you like challenge those irrational thoughts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do I get started with that?
Okay, well, a really good exercise is to write down your biggest fear about your loans,
Oh, okay.
and then ask yourself, then what?
Okay.
And just keep asking, then what?
Yeah.
Until you get to like the worst possible outcome.
Okay. So like basically face my fears
Exactly.
head on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually you'll realize that even the worst case scenario
Mm-hmm.
is something you can handle.
Okay.
It might not be fun,
Yeah.
but it's rarely like, you know, the end of the world.
Right, right.
And once you like face that fear,
Yeah,
it loses its power over you.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we have mindfulness, journaling, anything else?
Positive affirmations can also be really powerful.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Like,
It might sound kind of cheesy.
yeah, like I'm a money magnet.
You can do that if you want.
Okay.
But it can be like simpler too.
Okay.
Just like, I am capable of handling my finances.
Okay.
Or I am worthy of financial abundance.
Okay.
Or even just like, this debt is temporary, I will overcome it.
Okay, yeah.
And you just like repeat those phrases to yourself
Yeah.
to like reinforce a more positive mindset.
It's like a pep talk for
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah, and you can like rewire those negative thought patterns.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a really powerful technique.
Okay, so we have mindfulness, journaling, positive affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
What about self-care?
Oh, self-care is huge.
Okay.
It's so easy to like neglect yourself
Yeah.
when you're stressed about money.
Totally.
But taking care of yourself is like the key
'Kay.
to dealing with
So
it.
what does that look like?
Well, it can be like, you know, bubble baths and face masks.
Okay, I like those.
But it's also like the basics, like
Okay.
getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
eating healthy food,
Right.
moving your body,
Okay.
and doing things that make you happy.
Yeah, so it's not selfish to like
No, not at all.
take time for yourself.
It's essential because when you
I-
feel good,
Yeah.
you're better equipped to like make good decisions.
Right, yeah.
And stay motivated to actually deal with your finances.
Like they say on airplanes.
Yeah.
Put your own oxygen mask on first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't help anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Exactly, yeah. And what about like talking to people about it?
Oh, yeah. Connecting with others is so important. Talk
Yeah.
to your friends or your family.
Yeah.
Or even find a support group.
A support group for student loans.
Yeah, there are definitely groups out there.
Oh, wow, okay.
It can really help to like know that you're not alone.
Yeah, it can be really isolating, I feel like.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have all those things, but like what if it's really bad?
Yeah.
Like what if I'm really struggling?
Well, if it's like really impacting your daily life,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to talk to a therapist
Okay.
or a financial counselor.
Okay.
They can really help you
Yeah.
develop those coping strategies.
Right.
It's not a sign of weakness
Right.
to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's actually really strong.
Okay, good to go.
Yeah, so those are some individual things you can do.
Hmm.
But it's also important to remember
Yeah.
that this isn't just a personal problem.
Right.
It's a systemic issue.
Yeah, like it's bigger than us.
Exactly. And the good news is there are people working to fix it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Okay, well, first of all, we have programs like public service loan forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
and the income-driven repayment forgiveness,
Right.
which have already helped a lot of people.
Okay.
And remember the payment pause during the pandemic?
Yeah.
That showed us that, like,
Yeah.
big changes are possible.
Right?
Like there's political will.
It felt like they were actually acknowledging the problem.
Exactly. And now there are some lawmakers
Okay.
who are trying to make college more affordable
Okay.
and change those student loan policies. Like some people are pushing for tuition-free public college.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and to reform bankruptcy laws
Okay.
to make it easier to like get rid of student loans.
Okay.
And also to expand those forgiveness programs.
So things are like slowly moving in the right direction.
They are, yeah. It's a slow process. But we're getting there.
Okay, that gives me some hope.
Yeah, and you can help too.
Oh, okay, how?
Well, you can vote for candidates
Yeah.
who care about this issue,
Mm-hmm.
and you can contact your representatives.
Okay.
Tell them this is important to you.
So like our voices actually matter.
They do. You guys are the ones experiencing this problem.
Right.
So you need to speak up about it.
Okay.
You can also like share your story with the media
Oh,
or
okay.
even on social media
Okay.
just to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Because stories can really change people's minds.
Yeah, they're powerful.
They are.
Is there anything else we can do?
Well, I'm also hopeful because some employers are starting to offer student loan repayment
Oh, wow.
as a benefit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine that like as part of your job.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. So cool.
And also like public opinion is changing.
Oh, yeah.
More and more people are realizing that
Hmm.
student debt is a problem.
Big problem. Yeah, and that it's time for a change.
Yeah.
So the conversation is happening.
It
And
is.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, we're not just complaining. We're trying to like
Right. I
start a
know.
movement.
You are, and you're doing a great
Oh,
job.
thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have all these tools.
Yeah.
We have this hope for the future.
Yeah.
What about social media?
Oh, yeah. Social media is a big one.
Yeah.
Kind of a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, it could be good and bad.
Yeah. It's a powerful tool,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be used for good or for evil.
Okay, so how do we like
Yeah.
use it wisely?
Well, that's what we'll talk about next
Okay,
week.
through
Let's
it.
break it all down.
Awesome.
Give you some tips for navigating social media.
Love it. Let's do it. But we were talking about social media and student loans before the break,
That's a whole thing.
right? Like it could be so helpful, but also
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah.
Okay, so good stuff first. Like, how is social media helping with student loans?
Well, one really good thing is that it's like created a community
Okay,
where people can share their experiences
Mhm.
and like offer support
right.
and not feel so alone, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, just knowing other people are going through the same thing that
Exactly.
makes you feel less crazy.
Yeah, and it's not just about like venting.
Okay.
There's a ton of good advice out there too.
Oh, yeah.
Like there are so many people
Mhm.
making content specifically for Gen Z about finances.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, explain it in a way that we actually understand.
Exactly. Like no more confusing jargon,
Yeah.
just like straight up advice.
Okay, so, like, finance TikTok is actually good.
It can be,
Okay.
but you still have to like double check every
Right. Do your research.
Exactly. And like another good thing about social media
Yeah.
is that Gen Z is way more open about money than like older generations.
It's true.
So there's less shame.
Yeah, like everyone's kind of in the same boat.
Right.
So it's okay to talk about it.
Exactly. And that's a really positive thing.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Okay, but we have to talk about the bad stuff too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, like, what are some things to watch out for?
Well, like we talked about before, misinformation is a huge problem.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of scams out there targeting people with student loans.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like promising to get rid of your debt quickly or like easy solutions that are just not realistic.
So, like, if it sounds too good to be true,
Yeah,
it probably is.
exactly.
Okay, what else?
You also have to be careful about the comparison trap.
Oh, my gosh.
Social media can make that so much worse.
It's so easy to get caught up in that.
It is.
Like, everyone's posting about their amazing life.
Right.
And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm drowning in debt.
Yeah, and like people usually only show the good stuff.
That's true.
They don't talk about their struggles.
Right.
So you're not getting the full picture.
Yeah, it's like a highlight reel.
Exactly. So just remember
Yeah.
to focus on your own journey
Right.
and celebrate your wins.
Yes. Love that.
And unfollow anyone who makes you feel bad.
Okay, so how do we actually, like, use social media in a good way?
Okay, so first of all, be mindful of who you're following.
Okay.
Like choose accounts that are actually helpful
Yeah.
and get rid of the ones that make you feel anxious.
Right.
Or like you're not good enough.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
And always fact check everything.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Right. Do your research.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to take a break from social media.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
Totally.
So like disconnect every once in a while.
Yeah, like a digital detox.
Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about individual strategies,
Right.
just distant solutions,
Yeah.
and now social media.
It's a lot, right?
It is, but it's good stuff.
It is.
So what are you, like, your final thoughts on all of this?
Well, I just want to say
Yeah.
that this is a pleading. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen overnight. There will be good days and bad days. But, like, with the right mindset
Yeah.
and the right tools and support, you can do this.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, and celebrate your wins.
Yes. Love that.
And just keep fighting for a system that's fair.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is.
Okay, so we're all in this together,
We are.
and we can do this.
And I want to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What would your life look like without student loan debt?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just imagine that for a second.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah.
What dreams would you chase?
That's amazing. That's what we all need to be thinking about.
Exactly.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope it was helpful
I hope so too.
and that you feel empowered to take control of your student loan.
Yeah, you got this.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out GenZWealthAndWellness.com. Yeah, lots of good stuff there.
For more info and support.
Absolutely.
Okay, until next time, stay well and stay empowered.
Bye, everyone.
You've got this, Gen Z. Let's make some noise and build a brighter future together.